Hello, it's good to be back. It's November, and it was supposed to be July when I was making new videos, but here we are. Oh, by the way, if you've only just started watching my playlists, then you won't notice a massive 6 month um, pause. So just ignore what I just said. But here we are. So for episode 20, we wanted to do something special. So I've at least got trees working, and quite excitingly, we can harvest them as well. And I've got a new teach texture. Although you may have noticed I haven't spent a lot of time on the texture, and also the leaves, the canopy, the crown of the tree. I'm only using emerald, but I think that looks pretty cool because they're kind of see through. Oh, there's a missing block there. So there's some bugs with the tree system already, but it's nice to be back in our Minecraft world. So yes, we're making Minecraft with Python, and we're using Peter Amland's Ursina module. Oh, I've also got a diamond mine pickaxe, a diamond pickaxe as well. So we look a bit more like Minecraft. Right, the first thing that we want to do though is the following. Hello, Mr. Panda. We want to, if I mine this green block, there we go. Notice once I've collected the pickup item, which we did, or collectible item, which we looked at in the last episode, I believe, you'll notice down on the hotbar there, we've collected or started a new stack of blocks of minerals. So if I press E, that brings us back into our inventory mode. If I now click that, there's a number 1 there, which tells me I've collected one of those block types. So I'll get 2 stone, 1, 2. I'm just going to press G actually, just to pause the terrain generation. Oh, I can go. Can I go and get a tree? Some tree bits. Oh, there we go. I can jump to get those. Oh, another delightful bug is that you automatically kind of climb up trees, which looks like a really complicated mechanism that I've programmed in, but it's a complete bug to do with the bump system. So I've collected a few of those. They're appearing now in the hotbar. Oh, that's weird. I had a grass block, but now it's been replaced by stone. Oh, oh, great. So this is a new bug that I've just discovered live. As far as I knew, this was all working fine. So anyway, we're trying to improve that as we build this system. So press E, go back into the inventory mode. If I click on my grass block, I've now got 2 of those. Let's just move those over there. For some reason, I've got stone showing 0, which should be 2. That's very strange. And then I've got 2 tree blocks. Let's go and get some more stone and see what happens. Okay, so I don't see any new stacks appearing, so presumably this will say 2 or 3. Okay, so it's beginning to work. Let's go get some soil. So I haven't got any soil yet. Some more grass. What should happen is they're being added to, not number 1, number 2, but number 3 down the bottom there. They should have all of those. So that hotspot on the hotbar should have all of the grass blocks now on its stack, because it's the first hotspot that it will come to on the onto the bar, on the hotbar when looking through. I'm not making much sense, but let's press E to toggle and have a look down there. Yes, we've got 6 grass blocks there, 2 over there. At the moment, I haven't got a mechanism to drag that over and place it there, although that seems to have worked. It looks like what's actually happening is we're putting 2 blocks in the same place. Really strangely, when you do that, you kind of obliterate the under stack. Anyway, our 6 grass blocks have now been reduced to 0. Also, if you move a stack, that's when a little bit of text pops up to show us how many we've got in that stack. That's the kind of look of the mechanism I'm doing at the moment. In Minecraft, there's like a constant number there. But when I show you how to do that text, you'll be able to change it to look however you want it to look. Yep, we've got 6 trees and then 1 stone only. Oh, that's because, again, we're stacking like on top of each other. Well, that's a terrible demonstration of the mechanism that's supposed to be working. The stack mechanism, in other words. So the first thing that we want... Oh, there's our soil. Something very strange was going on with the hotbar. That genuinely... Oh, this is a bug I do know about. Sometimes when you put a hotbar item onto the main inventory panel, when you toggle off the main inventory panel, that item stays visible, which only the hotbar items, i.e. these ones down the bottom, should do. So there's some switch that I haven't switched off. Okay, so what we want to be able to do is when we mine something and collect that collectible, it should pop onto the hotbar. What should be happening is it looks through all the hotspots, so they're places on our inventory where we can drag items. It should look through all of those and firstly say, is there another hotspot that's got items like me? If there is, add me to that hotspot. And in that case, we're not adding a new item onto our inventory, we're just like incrementing the stack number. So when we like press this number, that should go up as we're collecting more things. So that's what we'll aim to do first of all. It'd be great if I got that done for this video, and then the next video we can look at trees. But maybe if we're really fast, we can get onto trees. Right, before we begin looking at the inventory things, there's a couple of housekeeping bits to look at. Obviously, it's been many months since this video, so I updated Ursina, and then predictably things broke. But with Peter Amlan's help, we managed to sort out what was going on. Where am I? Right, yes. In the inventory system, I've already put this code, by the way, that I'm about to explain into the tutorial code on GitHub. So if you're downloading my code from the link in the description, this is already taken care of. Actually, right now. Well, actually, if you're seeing this, I've uploaded this video, and presumably I've uploaded the new code. But even before this video, I've added this. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines? So I'm importing the system module, which allows us to do things like detect what operating system the user has got on their is using on their computer. And actually, I'm using it down here. So sys.platform returns what operating system, and there I'm just using the lower function to remove all the capital letters, and then I can check whether the operating system is Windows or Linux or Darwin. Darwin you may not have heard of, but it's behind the scenes. That's what an Apple computer or a Macintosh computer will be known as. Darwin is their secret real name. So in other words, what is that line doing? I'm saying if we're in windowed mode, so if window.fullscreen is false, so we're just in a windowed mode, and we're on a Macintosh computer like I am, then we need to just fiddle with the camera's UI scale. In other words, I'm just scaling it down by quite a lot and taking into consideration your Windows aspect ratio. And that will overcome any bug. If you're working on a Windows machine, then you don't have to do this. And presumably in future updates of Ursina, this will be taken care of. Anyway, Ursina isn't aimed at being used on Macintosh computers, so the fact that it does work at all is great. But anyway, this little hack of mine will sort you out. Okay, so that's what's going on there. So we do that in the inventory system because this is where we're playing around with the UI for the inventory. But it makes sense, therefore, to set the full screen mode off or on, so false or true, here, instead of doing it in main. So in your main module, we just need to comment out where we say window dot full screen equals false. So comment that out with a hash, and then maybe leave yourself a note, a comment, to see the inventory module, so that when you're looking at your code 6 months later, you can like follow the logic of where things are set, because usually you would do that in the main. Okay, first thing done. Next thing, there was a bug when let's go back into the game. When we're collecting collectibles, the colors of the collectibles isn't quite right. So let's have a look. So that grass block looked great. The stone block looked great. Soil block looked okay. Have I got any others? Oh, I've got an ice block and ruby and stone. So drag all of those onto the hotbar. So now if I go 2, I can build with ruby. No, build with ice, I mean. Talking of ruby, let's go and build with ruby. And now let's mine them. Ah, there we go. We've got the color bug. So it's not inheriting the color that it should be, but just going white. So should be an easy fix. If we go into collectible system, what we're looking for is where we're setting the colors of our spawned collectibles. So just a reminder, more for me than for you guys, I haven't looked at this code for a while. So the collectible class is an object inheriting from the Ursina entity class, where we're initializing it here, setting its texture, making it a third smaller than an ordinary block, and then down the bottom, here we go, we are getting some color information from the minerals and block types config file. This is what I'm doing wrong. I'm extending the colors list. So it's like adding to the list, which doesn't really make sense. I just want to be replacing all of its colors with the colors of the block that we just mined. So all we have to do is delete extend and say no, all of the colors want to be replaced by this stuff here. And then we do it again down here, because I think one of these is if our block type has got a color factor, because I think we made ruby and emerald and ice by just being concrete and then adding our own color information to it. So we've got 2 types of minerals, in other words, or 2 categories of mineral. Anyway, we want to do the same thing. Just take out the dot extend equals, save that, and that's done. Right, I should just go and test that that's the case. And then after this, we are getting into the inventory stuff. Okay, what have we got? Oh, thank goodness. We've got ruby, we've got some emerald, we've got some concrete, we've got some grass. Okay, so we've got some to play with now. So if I go and, actually I don't need to mine, do I? I can just build some ruby things over here. Right, come over here, Panda. Here's some emerald. And let's put some concrete down there. So if I go mine some ruby, so this is okay, appearing as it should. Don't want to mine the panda. If we mine the concrete, that's looking as it should. And ruby's looking as it should. Not ruby, emerald. Good. It's all looking as it should. Right. 2 bugs sorted. Very good. Oh, there's one more thing we could sort. You know what? I'll get to the inventory first. But the other thing was, when we're in the collectibles, up at the top, the last thing we did, or a very late thing we did, was add sound effects when we're picking up things. It would be nice if we added this information or incorporated it into the body of our class, so that whenever a pickup is collected, it's making its own like little click or whap sound. And then whenever we were mining something, we could put the pickup sound in the collectible. Yeah, just so that the sound isn't, so that we can have more than one sound happening at a time, basically. Right. Let's just go to our inventory system. So, first thing, well, each hotspot, so that is a place on the main inventory panel or along the hotbar, and there's 9 along the hotbar, 9 spaces. There we go. Hot cols or hot columns, we've said 9. Each one of those needs like a stack property, like how many items am I holding at the moment. So here we are, here's the hotspot class. What we can do right at the end here, we can say, so new stack system, it's my face. Oh, this feels good. We're actually doing some coding for our new episode. This stack equals 0. There we go. New stack system. Yeah. Start with no items as default. Just a little bit of context. So, what wants to happen? Right, so this needs to work with the collectible system. When we collect something, so what's happening at the moment? Let's go and have a look. I think we're just creating a sound or something like that. Check pickup. So here's dealing with positions and things, and basically, yes, if we're in the same position as a collectible that we've just mined a block, then we play some audio, and then we disable this item, i.e. this tiny bouncing cube, which we still want to do. But that's maybe the last thing. What we want to do first is signal to item class to create a new item on inventory. That's what we want to do. So we want to be able to say something like item, go and, or maybe something like just like new item. There we go. We also want to pass it what block type. Do we have that in here? Presumably it will be this dot block type. There we go, this dot block type. Great. We've got one little problem here, which is collectible system doesn't know what an item is, and that's because we haven't imported that class. So from our inventory system, import item. Great. Now we're still going to have a problem because we don't have a new item function. So let's go and make that. So in our inventory system, yes, we need a static method actually. Let's just nick that. So that's the hotspot class. The item class, here he is. We want a new static class. So I guess I'll put these towards the top. I guess I could put it here. Or will I need all of these bits and bobs? You know what? I'll put it at the bottom. there. So after drop, make sure we're inside the item class still. So we can say static method, which means this is not a function or a method that belongs to an instance of this class, i.e. an item, but it's just like a general use function or method to do something. So it's not created with every single item on the inventory. So def is new item. It wants to take in, so I don't have to write this, or sorry, if you're used to proper Python, self, because again, it's not an instance function, but we do want the block type. I usually write it like that, don't I? There we go. Block type. Good. Okay, so actually what we want to do, let's write some pseudocode. So first, check whether there is already a stack of this block type on the hotbar. If yes, increment hotspots stack. Whoops. And then like Minecraft, oh god, what am I doing? Oh, right. If no and space available on hotbar, create a new stack of one of that item, which means creating a new item. There we go. And I suppose, what happens in Minecraft then? Yeah, I was saying in Minecraft, I think when you get a new mineral, or if you've got a stack on the hotbar, then it'll appear on the hotbar if there's space, or it'll add to a stack that's on the hotbar. But I think if it's all full up, then it will just find that stack on the your main inventory. I think that's right. That's what we'll do anyway. Okay, so let's just go deal with this first bit. First, check whether there is already a stack of this block type on the hotbar. So I guess we want to say, we'll call that hotbar or stack check. Item dot stack. Stack check. Again, we want to pass through their block type, and we'll just say is extant stack already there? Stack already? Right, stack A will stand for is there already a stack? No, a stack. There we go. A stack. So this new function that we're writing, stack check, is going to return true or false. Okay. And again, that's going to be a static method, which we'll write just above here so that we can refer to it. So stack check, and we want block type. Great. So we're going to say for h in hotspots, if this hotspot is not on the hotbar, so I think we just write hotbar. If not on the hotbar, continue, which means forget this hotspot, it's not on the hotbar, try the next one. else, or else if h dot h block type, if this block type equals our block type, then we can return true. Else continue. So that's right, we've got like two logic gates here. If it's not on the hotbar, skip. Else it is on the hotbar, and if it's a right block type, then we found the stack. So we can return true. In other words, going down here, there is a stack. A stack will now become true. If we've gone through all of these things, we're back here, we can just say return false, because we've not found one that is on the hotspot, on the hotbar, and is the right block type. So we found one, so then we can say if a stack, I'll just be explicit, if it's true, then oh, that's quite easy. Then, oh, we also need the hotspot. We need the hotspot number. Oh God. Now, what way can we return the hotspot? We could do it as a tuple. Let's try that. I haven't done that in a while. Do I do that? Return true, comma, and h. Okay. So if a stack, which is now a tuple, so I want the first index, if that's true, this seems really bad practice. I should do everything up here. Stack check. Okay, we'll do everything in stack check. So for now, right. So we found, okay, we found it. So what we can do is then say, well, your hotspot stack, we've created that property above, haven't we? In where is it? Hotspots. There we go. Stack equals 0. So now we can say your hotspot stack plus equals 1. We're adding to it. Great. Then we can return true and do something else. Okay. Right. Else it's false. So then we can say, yeah, if stack equals false, what else do we need to do? Let's go back to our pseudocode. So first check whether there's already a stack on the block type of this block type on the hotbar. If yes, increment that hotspot stack. Done that bit. Done. Okay. If no, and there's space available on the hotbar, create a new stack of 1 of that item. Okay. Okay. So stack's false, then find space available on hotbar. Let's have a look. So for h in hotspots, again we want to say if not h dot hotbar. If you're not on the hotbar, continue. Else, so you must be on the hotbar. Oh, wait a minute. Or let's in one fell swoop. Or you are occupied. H dot occupied. Again, I'm not writing equals true there, just to keep this line a bit shorter. If that's true, that will resolve to, oh, this, if I don't put equals true, it just resolves to true. So if it's not on the hotbar, or it's already occupied, just continue. So else, which must mean we are on the hotbar and it's not occupied, then we found it. So now what are we doing? We want to create a new stack of 1. So at least we can say h.stack equals 1, and we need to create a new stack of 1 at this place. Okay, so we can say b for baby item equals a new item, and then presumably I have to just tell it its block type. Is that right? Let's go and have a look at this class. Item, draggable. Oh, you just, honestly, do you just read my own code? You have to set the block type. It assigns a random block type straight away. Okay, so on hotspot false, visible false, current spot none, set texture, and all of that. Okay, so we create it first. So I've done that, b equals item. Then I say, well, b, your block type equals, no, your block type equals that block type. We found it on the hotbar, haven't we? We found a place on the hotbar, so we can say b.hotspot. Oh, on hotbar equals true. b.visible equals true. b.x equals the hotspots x, and b's.y equals the hotspots y. So we found its position. The hotspots current item equals b. What else do we need to do? I think that's everything. Let's just go and have a look at the hotspot class. So scale, color, render queue, things like that we don't have to worry about. Oh, actually, render queue isn't the thing I should be using. When we come to put on text, we need to do it by the Z dimension, not by the render queue. So we've got on hotbar, so we don't need to touch that. Visibility, don't need to touch that. Occupied, O needs to now be set to true. Item, I have set that, and its stack number, which I think I've already set. So the fact that I have to remember all of these bits isn't very good. I should make its own dedicated function. So yeah, here we are. So I said it's blocked. So the item's block type is that. The hotspot's current item should do up there. Good. I've said whether we're on this item is on the hotbar is true. It's visible. Its position and the stack is set to 1. Okay, that's everything. So now we've done that, we can break out of this little loop where we're looking for an available hotbar position. Okay. This should begin to work. Let's have a look. Because we can create new stacks on the hotbar as long as there's nowhere occupied on there, and we can add to stacks that are already there. So we've not got a grass. If I go and so if I go and collect a collectible, we can see it working. So I haven't got a property called hotbar. It's probably because I need to capitalize the B of the bar. So let's go back to, are we in collectible system? No, we're not. We are in inventory system. Oh, there. Hotspot, hotbar. Oh, so it's called on hotbar. On hotbar. Okay, let's just copy it. Oh, have I done the occupied thing? Have I set it to occupied? No, I haven't. So I want to say h dot occupied equals true and on hotbar. There we go. Have I done that up here as well? If not, on hotbar. There we go. Yeah, I was saying this is kind of bad, the fact that I'm having to remember all these little things to set in order to create a new, or to occupy a new hotspot. I should have a function that says occupy new hotspot, and then it does all the other things that we have to do. Let's just make a little note to myself. Refactor this later. Dedicated function, please. Okay. Right, let's go and test again. Oh, the kind of good news was that we were running, weren't we? We hadn't crashed everything. So press G to turn off the terrain generation as we're testing. Walk all the way over here for some reason. Let's get some stone. Oh! Hotspot object has no attribute block type. Right, because it doesn't need that. It's got, so hotspot, it's got an item property. So if that item's block type is that, then we can add to that stack. So the block type itself doesn't need any of that information separately because it's got an item with all the item information. I remember doing that now to keep things organized. Okay, third time. Let's go this way. Let's go over here. Let's get some snow. It is November after all. I thought that was going to work. If items block type equals block type, so none type object has no attribute block type. Right. So the problem here is that what if the item the hotspot we're talking about doesn't have an item? So for H in hotspots, the first thing we need to try is if H occupied if it's not occupied or it's not on the hotbar. So that means if it starts checking hotbar stuff then sorry, if it gets down to here, that means it must be occupied. So we can access the item's block type. And we can access the item at all. I've got some concrete randomly. Right. Let's go and get this grass. We collected something. I can see a ruby has appeared. That's so bizarre. Let's get this one. Now what's going on? 184 stack check. Oh no! That's what we were just protecting against. So it's got an item. Maybe it's... Maybe it's to do with that unfamiliar logic, or way of writing the logic in Python. Let's see. Ah, so we've got a grass block that time appearing. We've still got a behavior that I don't quite like. Anyway, let's carry on. If I go and get another grass block, we shouldn't see one appearing. Ah, oh no, we're down here again. 184. Non-type object has no attribute block type. 184. How can it get down there? So if almost need to use a try. Try if h dot item equals none. Right, none type equals none. Then continue. Except just pass through. So what this does is try to run this bit of code. Now, this is reproducing the kind of error condition. So we're trying to refer to something. In fact, I'll reproduce that exactly. If the block type equals like none, we just continue. So if we do have a block type there, no, sorry, if we do have it logged, you know what? Let's just try and run this. If it's kind of basically saying if we find something, then we could just continue. Sorry, find nothing but logged as nothing there, then we can continue. But if there's an error, then it will also continue to the next item, and we won't try and falsely refer to things. Anyway, okay, that's bad. A new item appeared, but oh, is that because no, we have created a new item scenario, but now we should be able to add to that stack. Now it's just adding soil to the second one. It's just adding bizarre tiles. Now it looks like there is something there. What I think might be happening is I've got some invisible tiles or something like that placed in the wrong place. At least now we're not hitting our error, so that try mechanism has worked. Well, that's kind of ugly. Inventory system. What I can do at the very start is, yeah, main inventory panel items. I can turn that off. So yeah, I've got no items now, so nothing accidentally there. So grass. Ruby. What? Why is it ruby? And now that's hitting. Oh dear, what a disaster. Okay, let's see if we can figure this out. I might just pause so that I can concentrate and then give you the answer. Okay, I think I have our answer to one bug. Okay, which is our item and the texture not being correct. Yeah, when we create our items, we're not setting the block type as I first anticipated. And of course, when it's first initialized, that's when we're doing all the texture scaling, etc., and setting the texture up. So that needs to happen in initialization. So the initializing call should take a block type parameter, and then we can say block type equals, and then at the moment we're getting we're choosing a random one, so we don't want to do that. We want to say if block type equals none, then you can have a random block type assignment. So I double equals, else we want to say this dot block type equals the block type that we've passed in. Great, okay, that's better. And then that means down in our static method, new item, we can then create a new item with the block type parameter. That's better. Then we can say, yes, occupied, hotbar, visible. Brilliant. So that should sort that out. What about this terrible logic up here? That's gotten really ugly. Okay, let's just start again. So stack check. So we're looking at the hotbar spot. So first of all, if h on hotbar equals false, then continue. If h occupied equals false, equals true. Oh no, we are looking to ignore empty spots. So if it's not occupied, then look for something else. Meaning if we've gotten down here, then we found a hotspot. Okay, found an occupied hotbar hotspot, which means we can say, well, are you the right block type? So if h is items block type is the same as this block type, then return true. And just before we do that, we say, well, h your stack increments by 1. So we found the stack on the hotbar, the same block type. Add 1 to you. Else it just continues going around and around. So we haven't found anything. No matching hotspots. No matching stacks. So you can return false. Good. Okay. And down here, we're creating a new stack. If we found a hotbar non-occupied space, in theory, I feel like we needed a break somewhere. Anyway, let's go down here. Doesn't work. Right, what have I put in? Hotspot object has no attribute on hotbar. Yes, it does. Doesn't it? On hotbar. I am looking at the right. For H, wait a minute, where am I? Stack check. For H in hotspots. So I'm looking through all the hotspots. Maybe that's not the right term. Let's have a look. Nope, hotspots, all lowercase. Great. Items. Oh, do I add the item to the item list? Probably not. I should go and do that. I'm just checking that our hotspots have got an on hotbar. Oh, look, it's a lowercase b. You probably spotted that bug, didn't you? So well done. Well done if you did. One day I might have like these might be live videos, and I've got live chat, and you could like people could just like type in the answer for me. That'd be great. Where are we? Item block type stack. Oh yeah, it was up here, wasn't it? Was it? On hotbar, lowercase b, because it's all one word apparently. Occupied false. That's great. Okay. On hotbar, lowercase b there. On hotbar, lowercase b there. Yes, once we've created an item, you can then add it to the list of items. So we want to say items append, which means add me to the list, B. And I think the reason for that is when we're toggling off these items from the inventory, we need to have like access to a list of items. Okay, which reminds me, let's go and test this, of another little issue. I think if we've got the user interface mode toggled off, like now, so I'm just in game mode, my mouse is still kind of active in a way, so I might be accidentally picking up and dropping items on this hidden panel, although my mouse cursor is up here and kind of locked there. If I move this up here in the future, like I've done in my prepare code, then I might be creating issues for myself. So really I need to say, if I'm in game mode, then don't drop or move any items, something like that. Okay, right, what am I doing? Oh yes, let's see if we can grab some grass. It worked! If I get some more grass, I shouldn't get another stack up here. Oh my god, not this. Not this again. If H item block type is the same as that block type, none type object has no attribute block type. So I seem to be getting to a hotspot which is not occupied with an item somehow. 189. Although it will be satisfying when I understand what's going on. I'll be like, oh, you know, so that's worth it. That helps me deal with the frustration. So if H in hotspot, for H in hotspot, so it's going to iterate over all of our hotspots. If it's not on the hotspot, continue to the next thing. If it's not occupied, go to the next thing. So it's occupied with an item. Well, that would suggest that that after we've created an item, we're doing something wrong. So when I create my new stack, but no, I'm saying it's occupied. Oh, I haven't said what item it is. Oh, current item. Oh, I haven't said item. What's current item? Again, I feel like this is one of those bugs which you've spotted because you're watching carefully, and I've not. So I haven't got a current item. I've just got item. I must be thinking of another function where I do use a property called current item. Okay, oh, I may be getting that feeling of I understand now. Feels like a weight has fallen from my heart as I think I understand what's going on. Okay. I'm just imagining properties, that's what's going on. So current item is nonsense. I just want to say item is B. Right. Which is good. That means the previous logic that I kind of deleted was probably okay. I should have only just said that after I tested it and it worked. Now if it doesn't work, then I clearly don't know what's going on. Okay, we've got grass. I should actually go and see if I can get some stone as a different stack. Good. Soil. Oh, look at that. I can now build with grass, with stone, and with soil. Wonderful. As I've mined it, it's kind of coming together. And they still become the correct things. Oh, right. If I now go and collect those, it doesn't crash, and presumably I'm adding to the current stacks. Now the problem is I've got no text there, so let's do that. It's almost an hour. So I've done the hard bit, made lots of mistakes, but that's part of getting back into the coding. And it'll be useful hopefully to someone who's got a similar issue or bug. Although my help there was just don't make up properties that don't exist. What are we doing? Oh yes, so this will be in the inventory system, and it's when I'm kind of clicking or dropping an item. So there we go. So in the item class, because it's inherited from a draggable entity, which is built into the Ursina engine, we can just create a function called drop, and that will be called like event driven every time we click on or drag this draggable. So this function will run automatically, and then I'm calling my own function called this fixed position, which basically says find the nearest empty hotspot and go there. So you can kind of drag it and drop it, and it will just snap to the grid. But before that, I want to. Oh yes, I want to. or once we've done that, snap to the grid, then we want to display how many items or how many blocks in this stack, this hotspots stack. As I'm writing that, I just realised I got a bit excited. When we're creating a new item, I haven't done if there's no space available on the hotbar, then we need to place stuff on the panel. I guess what I could do is just leave it as it is, because then it does force people to kind of free up space on the hotbar to collect things. I don't know. It would be useful to return to that anyway, to kind of like relearn what's going on. It would be a useful, fairly simple exercise to get that working. It's going to basically be just recreating some of this code. It might be an opportunity then to refactor this, because it's going to be similar code going on. Anyway, I think I've talked myself into not doing that work right now. Okay, so we're dropping an item, display how many blocks in this hotspot stack. So this would actually happen in fixed position. But do we actually, for this item, does the item record what hotspot it's on? Current spot. Yes, it does. Oh, is that something that I didn't do? Is that what I got mixed up with before? On stack check. Yeah, I need to say b dot current spot equals h. That's probably to do with my previous mistake. So a hotspot doesn't have a current item, but an item does have a current spot. So a better name for that might be hotspot, spot. Anyway, yeah, again, this is why I need to refactor that, because I shouldn't have to remember all these fiddly things. And this is me doing it, i.e. who wrote the original code. So if this is someone else trying to maintain this, or myself in 5 years' time, it's going to be difficult if I leave it as it is. So what are we doing? Oh yes. So now, yeah, from in here, because I'm in an item function, I can say this dot current spot, and now I've got access to the stack number. In fact, I'm going to need that, so I can say stack num equals that, and now I need some text. So I can say t equals new text. So to get some user interface text on the screen, in Ursina, you just write capital text like that, and then you add a string for what you want there. So actually, I do want stack num to be my string. Then I need scale, wants to be about 1.2. We could do other things. We can now say origin of the text wants to be 0, 0. I think usually it's something like 0.5, so it kind of shifts to the right if you're labeling something. Anyway, I just want the origin of my text to be right in the middle, or to be centered on, I should say, centered on a certain position, which is going to be t dot x equals this current spot's x. So this item's current spot's x, and then I want to do the same for the y. And Oh, stack num, of course, is going to be an integer, and we need this to be a string. So in fact, we'll call this my text, and then we'll say my text equals, and what you can do to set the color of the text, you can use these like HTML tags or chevrons to set settings. So you just include it in the string itself, plus, and then I'm going to cast the stack num integer as a string type. There we go. And I have to do that in order to plus together or glue together or stack together, concatenate together strings, to concatenate together strings. Okay, let's see what happens. So first, let's go and get some. So I've got about 5 grass, 1 stone. Okay. E. So if I click on it, oh, we've got a bug. T origin, tuple object is not callable. Oh, okay. I think I need to say origin equals 0, 0. Is that right? So origin isn't like a function that I can pass in what its origin needs to be. It is a tuple itself. I think is going to be the issue there. Do I usually have this amount of bugs? I can't remember. It's been a long while. 2 items. Stone. Okay. So if I drag my grass over there, I get no text. Or I do get text, but the text is underneath, not displaying in the correct place. So, where were we? Inventory system. I need to say text dot z equals -3. So the lower this number, so -9 would be even lower, kind of like the closer to the user it would be. So I don't think it will get bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just like, it's a flat plane, but it's ordering your inventory. So that's going to be -3. Presumably, because I haven't set the Z position for my other UIs, they will all be 0. So this should be on the top of everything else. If not, we'll go and have a fiddle with the rendering queue property, which might be interrupting this. So get some grass, get some stone, get some more grass, and then toggle on the inventory with E and move my grass. No, can't see it yet. So let's go and sort out the rendering queue business. So in the inventory system, I create at the very top, or we create a hotbar entity, and we position it, and then at the bottom of the screen, and then we say the render queue is 0, because then on top of it we're putting hotspots, so their render queue would be 1, i.e. on top of it. But we want to take that out and replace it with hotbar.z equals 0, let's say. So start at base. The IPAN, which is the inventory panel, the larger one, again we've got its basic render queue being 0, but we want to say IPAN.z equals 0. Now hotspots, render queue is 1, so they're on top of that render queue. But again, we want to take that off and say this dot z equals -1, and we want to do the item next. So render queue2, so that wants to be this dot z equals -2. So at the back we have like the grey panel itself. On top of that we have the hotspots, which are just the white textured squares, and then on top of that the items, which are the tiles of block texture that we can move around, the different block types. That wants to be on top again, so that's at -2. So again, the lower the number, the more on top it is. And so finally we're saying -3 as the text position. There it is. Text dot z equals -3. Okay. I'll just go down to the bottom of the code and just make sure I haven't got any other references to render queues. Good. I think we're okay. Go back to the main menu. Oh, it's been over an hour now. Let's see if we get some text. Ah! Oh, brilliant. We got text and it's in the right position. Okay. What's kind of cool, firstly, is that we've got... Oh! We've got some text happening. What's interesting is that the stack number is attached to the hotspot, which is not being transferred as we're transferring our items around. But we are getting the text on top, although the hotspot down the bottom is recording the correct number. So we need to sort that out in fix position. And also, I would like it if the hotspot, sorry, the item stayed where it was if we're just clicking it. So we've got to kind of include a check for the current hotspot being the closest if we haven't moved it. So inventory system, So what we want to do is find fixed position. Here we go. So the closest is set at -1. The closest hotspot is none. So it's looking through all the hotspots. If it's occupied, continue. Actually, so we don't want to continue. If it's the same, if it's occupied and it is our current hotspot, then maybe go through all of this. So if it's occupied and that hotspot's item does not equal this, then continue. Now, should that already work? Because it's going to find that it itself is the closest hotspot, because by definition it's closer than any other ones. So if I click it, it stays there, and we've got 2. That's brilliant. Oh, that's worked already. So what hasn't worked is if I put this over here, it will say 0. Also, we want that text to disappear. So the effect, or the way that I made it disappear, actually, I will talk about in a moment. I use the destroy function with a delay on. So it's just one line to sort that out. But what I want to do is, oh yes, so I'm in fixed position. What we now do, if we're finding a new hotspot, there we go, we found an available closest. So we're saying its position equals now the closest hotspot's position. And by this, remember we talk about an item. But what we want to do is say the closest hottie is occupied and its stack number equals the current hotspot's number. And then update the previous hotspot status. So occupied files item is none. This dot current spot stack equals 0. Okay. Oh, we should still have the issue of when we collect things, sorry, when we move things. So we've got 0, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. What's going on there then? I think it's because we're calling fixPos when we don't need to. And fixPos is now damaging that. 0, 0, yeah. The other issue is, yeah, when we're moving something away, the 0 stays in the previous place, so we need to kind of destroy it. So yeah, this fixed position. So when we drop it, yeah, it goes to this fixed position. Well, its stack should be. Oh, so we only want to set it to 0 if it's a different place. So if this current spot does not equal closest hottie, if it doesn't equal it, then this current spot stack equals 0. I don't understand why I'm getting an error here. not liking this for some reason. Oh, of course, because I'm asking a question, I haven't put if. So if this current spot doesn't equal closest hottie, then you can reset the old space to 0. But if it is the same space as you're currently on now, you don't want to set that to 0. So that's done that. Okay. Okay. So let's just see if that sorted that out, and then we'll finish off with we'll finish off by removing the text somehow. There we go. Building with soil as I should be. Building with grass. I'm just using the number keys, by the way. Hello, Panda. To build with different things as displayed on the hotbar. Now if I press E to bring up the inventory panel, so I click on him, I've got 6, I've got 5, I've got 2, so that's overcome that. If I drag this over here, I should still have 2. This one is now 0. If I go back over there, it should stay 2, that's good. What if I move that there and click on that? So I want it to be removed. What would kind of be nice is if I remove the old one. So where are we creating the text? We're creating it, I think, in the drop function, which is a function of the item class. But that means I can still get hold of our current spot. So what I'm thinking is each current spot could have a text property, a text object, really, and then you could destroy it or set it to 0 and then recreate it. Okay. I'll just set the text to just like nothing. So let's try that. Let's say this current spot's t for text equals that. So that's doing everything the same. It's just parenting the text to the current spot. And by the way, we don't have to create this item within the initializer. It's already going to be there, although it might be a good idea to do so. Let's do that, just so that we don't get any none type kind of errors. So in the hotspot, near stack, because it's to do with stacks, text for number of blocks in stack. So this t equals text, and we'll just have an empty string. Oh, the scale we could set here. Instead of all the way down here somewhere. No, I think I went past it. New item. No, it's in drop, isn't it? Of oh, where is drop? Fixed position. Drop. There we go. So I shouldn't have to set the scale now. If fact, I shouldn't have to set the origin. Oh, and I could put that. So these could all go up at the top. I'll leave them there for now. But then, yeah, in fixed position, if I'm saying if it doesn't equal the same spot, the current stack equals 0, and this current spots t dot text. So the text is the actual lowercase text, is the text that your text object, capital T, is displaying. So you're tempted to say it's text equals nothing, but really you're saying if it's message equals nothing. That should kind of, no, it won't display over the top of it unless we put maybe a space there, but what I'm thinking is it won't get rid of it. Maybe we do have to destroy it. Let's put a big space there. See what that does. Let's see if our text is still intact. That's the first thing. Four, one, one. Move it over here. One. Oh my god. Well, that's worked. Does it work up here as well? Oh. Something's gone wrong there. That worked. Okay, they're mostly working. But I dragged something to a mysterious place, and I don't know where it's gone. But that's mostly working. Yeah, the text is remaining when it's on the panel, which isn't too good. And I think there's another issue. If I go to 1, there was a grass cube there. Oh no, I can't build. That's good. If I go to 2, I can build. Obviously, our building hasn't been integrated with this system yet, because I'm able to build when I've only got 1 in my stack. Oh, sorry, I'm still able to build it if I've got 0 in my stack. So building should be depleting that, decrementing the value. So, okay, we're mostly happy with that. Let's just go to my plans. So, tutorial 20. Oh, I didn't make any plans. 20. We can say, what did we do? We UI aspect ratio bug done. 2 collectible color bug, that was done. Then we got inventory items stay put when when clicked, done. 4 saw panda, done. 5 we created simple stack system, done. But we've got a bug, which is item text remaining when it shouldn't. Also, what we want, yes, for 21, well, actually, that should be in 21. 2, we want to deplete stack number when building. Yeah, and then of course we need to make trees for 21. So I will see you in definitely less than 6 months. It'd be great if I get into a rhythm of 1 or 2 of these a week, and then I can make them a bit shorter. So it's been an hour and a half. Thank you very much. Hopefully this was helpful. Leave any comments or questions in the comments, and again, you can get this code from the link in the description. Thank you. It's great to be back. Goodbye.